protection and social protection services, targeting the most vulnerable, including children with disabilities and those affected by conflict and displacement. According to IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, speaking at the annual Arab Fiscal Forum in Dubai, has said she has emphasized global inflation is projected to fall to 3.8% this year and 3.4% by 2027, driven by softer demand and lower energy prices, while stressing that trade integration remains crucial as global trade continues to slowly but steadily grow. Now we start with Middle East. According to recent reports, Turkey, Egypt, and Qatar are working to arrange a meeting between U.S. presidential envoy Steve Witkoff and senior Iranian officials in Ankara, Turkey. The meeting is expected to take place later this week, as these countries hope that direct talks between the U.S. and Iran could help prevent a potential war in the region. Reportedly, a U.S. official has confirmed that these discussions are progressing and that the meeting could take place next week. The Trump administration has also reportedly indicated through multiple channels that it is open to negotiations with Iran, while President Donald Trump previously expressed hope for a fair and equitable deal with Tehran, emphasizing the U.S. stance on the complete renunciation of nuclear weapons. Now, for this discussion, we welcome Professor Rohan Gunratna. He's an international affairs expert, joins us live from Singapore. Thank you very much, Professor Gunratna, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, how are we? So, what is the situation now that we know the reports coming in from both sides that they're open to talks, while both of them know that there are some sticking points that both of them are not backing down as of right now, one of them being, of course, the nuclear ambitions of Iran, which U.S. strongly, accuses Iran of making nuclear weapons, while Iran denies that.
Asuma, as you indicated, the United States and Iran will go for talks in Turkey next week. Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey has played a very important role to receive President Trump's envoy Witkoff, and he will meet with senior Iranian leaders to discuss how to move forward as the United States is slowly and steadily closing in on Iran. US has built a huge military capability, unprecedented military capability that could strike Iran at any moment, at any time. And of course, the Iranian leader Ayatollah Khamenei has said that Iran will respond not only by striking the US, but striking the other countries in the Middle East. As you know, most of the countries in the Gulf are with the United States, and they are very concerned of escalation in tensions that will lead to a war in the Middle East. Iran, of course, is not keen to give up its nuclear program. Iran has repeatedly, I repeat, repeatedly lied to the international community that it is not manufacturing military-grade nuclear weapon. And what it has done is it has enriched uranium to a point that is not needed for a civilian nuclear program. So certainly Iran doesn't want to give up its production of its nuclear fissile material for the purpose of building a fully functional nuclear weapon. Second is Iran has suffered very significantly in the Israel-Iran war, US-Iran war last year, where many of its nuclear capability sites have been dismantled or disrupted. Iran also suffered, took many hits where its missile program, what you call the ballistic missile program, was disrupted. Iran has tried to restore that capability. So I believe that Iran doesn't want these two capabilities to be by the United States or by the International Atomic Energy Agency. US is asking for intrusive inspection of the nuclear sites. So this is where it stands.
Right, and you know, in the first term of President Trump, he's the one who pulled out of the nuclear limiting pact with Iran, right? So do you think that he was then underestimating Iran's capabilities? And right now, why is Iran so emboldened, even though it seems to me that Iran is cornered, yet very confident, asking US to talk or negotiate on equal level or eye to eye?
You're very correct, Asuma. In fact, the Israelis provided very crucial intelligence to the United States that Iran was lying, that it has abandoned its nuclear program while it was enriching uranium. And in fact, there was a Mossad officer called Yossi Cohen, extraordinary, brilliant man, who was able to gain access to the Iranian nuclear archive. And the Israelis demonstrated to the United States that Iran was in fact telling the world that it was not manufacturing nuclear weapons, but was exactly doing that. Trump is fully aware of that. And of course, if there is no intrusive inspection, meaning International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors going into Iran and inspecting their nuclear sites, then of course the United States will strike. This time Iran has no escape. Iran cannot lie and continue to lie, because the Western governments, especially the United States and of course Israel, is fully aware of what Iran is saying and what Iran is really doing. And I personally believe that it is time for the Ayatollahs that came to power in 1979 to retire, because Iran has been destroyed as a nation. So many civilians have been killed, so many terrorist groups have been armed by Iran, so many groups have conducted attacks at the behest of Iran, such as the Lebanese Hezbollah, such as Ansarullah of the Houthi movement in Yemen, and of course that brutal attack by Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Palestinian Mujahideen Brigade. All these groups staged those attacks because they were trained, armed, financed, and directed by Iran. So Iranian regime should be reoriented for there to be permanent peace in the Middle East.
With that, I'd like to thank Professor Gunratna for sharing that insight. Please stay with us. Now we move on to our next news. Deputy Chairman of Russia's Security Council